Right now, two people are setting aside the exact same $500 a month. Same paycheck, same discipline, same 30 years of doing it. But one of them ends up with almost $400,000 more than the other. Nothing about their effort is different. Neither one earns a bigger salary. Neither one saves an extra dollar. The only thing that separates them is a single choice most people never even realize they're making. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side of that gap you're standing on right now and how to cross to the right side of it starting this month. Here's why this matters more than almost anything else you'll ever do with your money. Most of us were handed the same advice our entire lives. Be responsible. Save your money. Put it in the bank where it's safe. And saving is good. Saving is the foundation everything else is built on. But saving alone quietly leaves a fortune on the table, because a savings account and an investment account are two completely different machines. One machine is built to protect money, the other machine is built to grow it. Confuse the two, and you can do everything right for 30 straight years and still end up hundreds of thousands of dollars behind someone who understood this one distinction. Before we get into the numbers, if you want more breakdowns like this one, don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this before it's too late for them to fix it. All right, let's look at the machine most of us got handed by default. A savings account is basically a safety box with a small tip attached. Today, a good high-yield savings account might pay you around 4% a year. That's not nothing. It beats a regular checking account that pays you almost zero. So let's follow our first saver. She puts away $500 every single month, and it earns about 4%. 30 years later, she has personally contributed $180,000 of her own money, and it has grown to roughly $347,000. That is a genuinely good result. She was disciplined. She was consistent. She built real money out of thin air with nothing but a habit. So hold that number in your head. $347,000. Now our second saver does exactly one thing differently. Instead of a savings account, he puts the same $500 a month into a low-cost index fund. That's just a single basket that quietly holds a tiny slice of hundreds of the biggest companies in the country all at once. Over the last several decades, the broad stock market has returned somewhere around 8% a year on average once you smooth out the incredible years and the painful ones. Same $500 a month, same 30 years, the same $180,000 of his own money going in. But at about 8%, it grows to roughly $745,000. Let that sit for a second. Same person, same paycheck, same monthly habit. Same 3 decades of discipline. The saver ends with about $347,000. The investor ends with about $745,000. The gap between them is close to $400,000, and neither one ever earned a dollar more at work or set aside a dollar more each month. The only difference was the machine they chose. That $400,000 was never earned. It was allowed. One of them gave compound growth permission to do its job, and the other one quietly switched it off without ever knowing they'd flipped the switch. Now, your brain is probably firing off an objection right about now. But investing is risky. The market crashes. And that's true. In any single year, an investment account can drop, sometimes hard. A savings account will never do that to you. But here's the part that fear conveniently leaves out. We are talking about money you will not need for years, maybe even decades. Over a few months, the market is a roller coaster. Over 20 and 30 years, every single major crash in history has eventually been followed by a new all-time high. The real risk over a long-time horizon isn't a temporary dip you simply wait out. The real risk is the guaranteed silent loss of parking your long-term money somewhere it can never grow. Short-term, cash feels safe. Long-term, cash is the actual risk. There are two forces quietly making this gap even wider than it already looks. The first is compounding. Your growth starts earning its own growth. In a low-return savings account, that snowball rolls slowly. In a higher-returning investment, it rolls faster every year, and most of the investor's ending balance isn't even the money he put in. It's growth stacked on top of growth on top of growth. The second force is quieter and a lot meaner. It's inflation. Prices tend to rise around 3% a year, so money sitting in a savings account earning 4% is barely inching forward in real terms, while money growing at 8% is genuinely pulling ahead of rising prices. The cash that feels the safest is slowly losing its buying power just sitting there. So here is the fix, and it's far simpler than the fear surrounding it. This is not stop saving. Saving is still the foundation. You want a real emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, sitting safely in that high-yield savings account because that money's only job is to be there in a crisis, not to grow. But every dollar beyond that safety cushion, the money you won't touch for years, has a completely different job. Its job is to grow. And if your workplace offers a 401k match, start there before anything else, because that is your employer literally handing you free money, an instant return no savings account on earth can compete with. Grab the full match first, then keep going into a low-cost, diversified index fund, ideally inside a tax-advantaged account like a 401k or an IRA so the government takes a smaller bite. Emergency money stays safe. Long-term money goes to work. Most people accidentally leave every single dollar on the safe side, and that, right there, is the entire gap. If this reframed how you think about your own money, do 2 quick things for me. First, don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up so more people learn this difference before they lose 30 years to it. And second, I really want to hear from you in the comments. Right now, is your extra money sitting in savings or is it actually invested? And what's the one thing holding you back from moving it? Drop it below. I read and reply to every single comment, and honestly, your answer might be the exact nudge someone else scrolling past needs to see today. Just remember, this is education, not financial advice. Your situation is your own, but the machine you choose is a decision you get to make this month. Choose the one that pays you.